When we harvest fresh vegetables from our garden, we often throw away the leaves and peels, thinking they are useless. Most people only use the edible parts, like the fruit or vegetable itself, and toss the rest into the trash. But did you know that those scraps are full of nutrients? Instead of wasting them, you can turn them into something incredibly valuable for your garden. There are two simple ways to use these scraps, and both methods are great for improving the health of your soil and plants. The first method is composting. You can take your vegetable leaves and peels and add them to a compost pile. Over time, the scraps will break down naturally, turning into rich, dark compost. This compost is excellent for your garden because it provides plants with the nutrients they need to grow strong and healthy. However, composting takes time, usually between 4 to 6 months. If you are patient, it's a great option. But sometimes, you need something faster. That's where the second method comes in. The second method is to make liquid fertilizer out of your vegetable scraps. This method is quicker and can sometimes be even better for your plants than regular compost. Liquid fertilizer is full of nutrients and beneficial microbes that your plants will love. Plus, it's easy to make at home with just a few simple steps. To start, gather the vegetable leaves and peels you've saved. These could be anything from carrot tops to cabbage leaves or potato peels. Chop them into small pieces. The smaller the pieces, the faster they will break down. This step helps speed up the process and ensures that all the nutrients from the scraps are released into the liquid. Once you've chopped your scraps, take a 5-gallon bucket. This will be the container for your liquid fertilizer. Begin by placing a layer of the chopped leaves and peels at the bottom of the bucket. Then sprinkle a thin layer of compost or manure on top. Compost or manure helps kickstart the breakdown process and adds extra nutrients to the mix. Repeat this process, leaves and peels, then compost or manure, until the bucket is half full. Next, it's time to add water. Use non-chlorinated water for this step because chlorine can kill the beneficial microbes that are so important for making good fertilizer. If you have rainwater, that's even better. Fill the bucket with water until it completely covers the scraps. Then, use a stick or a long spoon to mix everything together. Make sure the water soaks through all the layers. Now cover the bucket with a lid. The lid doesn't need to be sealed tightly. Just place it loosely on top. This allows air to flow into the bucket while keeping out debris or pests. The mixture will now begin to ferment. Let the bucket sit in a shady spot for at least 7 days. You don't need to do anything during this time. Just let the microbes do their work. After a week, you'll notice a strong smell coming from the bucket. Don't worry, this is completely normal. The smell is a sign that the fermentation process has happened. During fermentation, the microbes break down the vegetable scraps, releasing nutrients and creating a liquid that's packed with beneficial microbes. This liquid is now your fertilizer. Before you use the fertilizer, you need to dilute it. The concentrated liquid is very strong and can harm your plants if used directly. A good rule of thumb is to mix 1 part fertilizer with 10 parts water. For example, if you take 1 cup of the liquid fertilizer, mix it with 10 cups of water. This diluted mixture is safe to use and still provides plenty of nutrients for your plants. Once it's diluted, pour the fertilizer onto the soil around your plants. Avoid pouring it directly onto the leaves, as this can sometimes cause damage. The liquid fertilizer will soak into the soil, feeding the roots of your plants and improving their growth. It's especially helpful for plants that are struggling or need an extra boost during their growing season. This homemade liquid fertilizer has many benefits. First, it provides your plants with essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which help them grow strong and healthy. Second, it adds beneficial microbes to the soil. These microbes improve the soil's structure, making it easier for plants to absorb water and nutrients. Third, it's an eco-friendly solution. Instead of throwing away kitchen scraps, you're recycling them and turning them into something useful. It's a win-win for you and the environment. One of the best things about this method is how quickly you can see results. Unlike traditional composting, which takes months, liquid fertilizer is ready in just a week. You'll notice that your plants look healthier, greener, and more vibrant after using it. And because you're making it at home, you don't need to spend money on expensive store-bought fertilizers. Another great thing about this fertilizer is that it's completely natural. You're not using any chemicals, so it's safe for your plants, your soil, and the environment. It's also incredibly versatile. You can use it on flowers, vegetables, fruits, and even trees. No matter what you're growing, this fertilizer will give your plants the nutrients they need to thrive. Making your own liquid fertilizer is also a great way to reduce waste. Instead of throwing away vegetable scraps, you're putting them to good use. This helps reduce the amount of waste that ends up in landfills and lowers your environmental footprint. Plus, it feels good to know that you're giving back to your garden in a sustainable way. If you haven't tried making liquid fertilizer before, now is the perfect time to start. It's simple, quick, and incredibly rewarding. Your plants will love the extra nutrients, and you'll love the results. So, the next time you're preparing a meal and have leftover vegetable leaves or peels, don't throw them away. Save them, chop them up, and turn them into liquid gold for your garden. You'll be amazed at how much difference this homemade fertilizer can make.